evening. There's people who don't. Good evening, everybody, and welcome and welcome and welcome. I am the Diva D from Carved Out Divas
April Cobb with April's Beauty Bar, and we are Diversity
and Equity.
in Education. And we're being
Yay.
hosted
Hi, April.
by,
How was your weekend?
it's good, but let's
Look,
get
and
in who we're hosted
fantastic and
by. Teaching for the
phenomenal.
culture.
Teacher for the culture.
Yes, yes, yes.
I always get that off. Good afternoon. Good
Yes,
evening.
you do.
How was your
Good
weekend? How
evening.
was your weekend?
How you doing? How you doing?
I, I'm making it. Are we 9 days away from election day, and we just prayerfully waking up every day and surviving. And I just can't wait for it to be over because I can't. I can't.
I know, right? It has been an adventure. But what I will say is sometimes you just have to disconnect, disengage, power down in order to keep your sanity because there are individuals that will just make you go left. And it's for no reason because in the end, everyone has their own power to vote. When they get to the ballot, they're making their own choice. So it is what it
Correct.
is. And if there are receipts to support the decision that you're making and you would like to share those with others, that is what it is too. But in the end, power down. Take it,
Mm-hmm.
just let it go. What they say, Calgon, take me
Right.
away.
Did your audio go out, or is it just me?
No, it's just you.
It's just me.
It's you.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
So you got to read
Okay.
lips.
So what is this? That one of the biggest issues that I've been noticing, one of the biggest issues I've been noticing too is that I've never had so many people send me messages through text messages in terms of receiving, oh, vote for this and vote for that, but especially from the Democratic Party, vote for this and vote for that. So that's unusual. Like, it did not happen like the 2016 election, so it's definitely that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try one thing, which is I'm going to disconnect my Bluetooth and I'm going to come back in and I'm going to see if that works. Okay, hold on 1 second. Hold, please.
And I've disconnected. And can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah, that's better. Definitely. I've tried it all. I swear. Listen, the Facebook, my Bluetooth, or whatever is not letting me be great today. Okay, and it could just be it's a wash day too, which is like I couldn't take it no more. Maybe it's just that I don't know. If all the factors just kicking in today, they're just kicking in. But anyway, so let's talk about the end of the first quarter. Parents, friends, family, grandparents, everybody. I want to let you know right now. The quarter has officially come to end. No, Lil John and Pookie can't turn their working on Monday. No, Ray can't do that because he was playing football on Sunday and he needed 4 extra days to turn it in. No, ma'am, no, sir. The quarter ended last Friday. That is the official end of the first quarter. We are now inputting grades, and that's where we are. So no, we're not going to accept any more work. April, you want to speak on that?
Well, you said it so eloquently, but I will add as a transparent moment. So you all know that I have 2-pack over here in this good old dwelling of mine. And every day when Auntie come in, how your nieces say Auntie. Every day when Auntie come home, I ask their learning coach, have they done everything? Learning coach, yeah, they did it. They said they did it. And I asked these good twins of mine, have you done everything? Yeah, we did it. So why these teachers texting me talking about, are you gonna finish any missing work? So they had 11:59 moment on this past Friday where their eyes was droopy. They was sitting up, and yeah, they got touched a few times for not sitting there with consistency getting it done. But I promise you, they got them grades up to passing. And to me, that's the status. So we have established now. See, I tried to let them do it their way. So now Auntie has full schedules.
Ooh.
For each class now for the e-learning so that we know clearly what you should be doing every day. So I tried it your way. So this 9 weeks, we're going to try it my way. But I will say that they did successfully, submit what they needed to in order to be passing. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to give also another transparent moment. The only classes that I really, really, really placed emphasis on was the language arts, which is embedded their reading and their math. And I can say in their eye ready, they are on level or above level. So I'm gonna be honest. That was our poison this quarter. Now I
Mm-hmm.
know that they had to learn how to navigate the different systems, the different programs, the different software.
Right.
So now that you all have acquired those skills, now we're going to move on to doing it my way. Now I don't expect number A's and B's.
Right.
So it
Mm-hmm.
has been interesting. But
Yeah.
you're right. A lot of kids fell below. And I gave my students a lot of grace. A lot of grace. And even those that I gave grace, when you didn't show up, I can't give you no grace. Because who I'm giving it to? The invisible man or woman?
That grace was sufficient for a moment, huh? It ain't sufficient no more. Okay.
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I agree with it, everything you're saying in terms of, I try to work with the parents. I said, listen, you got to check up on the kids because that's a key part of it is just being completely, monitor them, make sure that they address. Oh, another thing too, listen, we are now, okay, everybody should have learned by now these 9 weeks, shirts need to be on. I don't need to see you eating a whole sausage sandwich, get the whole class hungry. Now everybody want to get up and get a plate. No, we're not going to do that. I mean, you're not going to be in bed. Talk about, oh, I'm in class. No, you still in bed in full pajamas. So no, we're not going to do that. So all these things we should have learned these past 9 weeks. Now we need to be ready to go for the second quarter. And then on top of that, I had a situation where a parent is like, listen, we did this homework and I don't understand how we got the answers wrong. Well, let me help you understand something, right? You just busted yourself because you just told me that you were doing the homework. I really need him to do his homework by himself. So I don't agree with your answer number 2. Wait a minute, I'm gonna tell you like this. I appreciate that you're here, but no, he got answer number 2 wrong. Okay, you got answer number 2 wrong. So I do want to give a shout out, parents. Thank you. Thank you for following along. That you really want to help, especially 6th graders. They're in there. So, but I mean, just now that we've gone through this first 45 days, just know that okay, we established the rules, we established procedures, and it's time to go forward. And I let me tell you something. I don't know if you got this at the end of your quarter too, but all of the ones who didn't show up, once they start getting them little failure notices and failure emails, all of a sudden the Zoom was packed. One kid even said, Miss, how many people in our Zoom class? I said, oh, this is actually supposed to be the amount of people in the Zoom class. It's just that you show up every day, they don't. So now the class that average about 8 or 9, now all 20 want to show up. Look at God. Ain't God good?
They showed up. And they showed up. And they showed up.
What's that song
And
that
they
came in the 90s?
showed up.
Hold on. Always on time.
Right. Right.
That's what happened.
Right.
That's what happened.
That part.
So hopefully, I think I've stressed to them now the importance of attendance and participation, because attendance and participation is a portion of the grade. And I keep on stressing your parents, it's just like skipping school. If you know you come to school every single day, why would you not come to the Zoom class every day? Especially the teacher's telling you there's class every single day. So don't you think, hey, all these days I missed class, I missed instruction, I missed key components. There's small group days. And so that means the part of the small group I was supposed to be in, I've completely missed it. I missed exactly what they asked us to do. And remember, we've already had our first writing test. So some of them kids, which I'm really concerned about, have already missed the baseline rice test. Now, I don't know about you in math, if you'll be able to capture everybody, but I'm not sure if we got everybody in that first round of baseline testing. Also, getting the levels for bright fish. I don't think we got everybody either, and the window has closed. So
and that is a true statement. We didn't capture everyone when we took our baseline assessment either. And the majority of the students that we did not capture is going to be our e-learning kids. So it has been an interesting bout. But keep in mind, for our transformational schools, the state has started their walkthroughs, their appointment scheduling at the different sites in order to see what we've been doing for the first quarter. So next week, that's going to be interesting when it's going to show that a lot of our students for the e-learning, we were not able to capture their data.
Right. And what also concerns me is the fact that, okay, we lost units, as they call them, which is actually human beings. Okay, we've lost that. However, and you all claim that it's because the students, you can't find the students, whatever. Like, but did anybody take into consideration the fact that somebody should actually go and find the students? Because if they're not in charter school, and you're not in public school, where are they? That's the question. Where are the children?
Right.
Because that number drove people to be losing their jobs. So the number of children that you claim are missing, can somebody please tell me where they at? Because there are people walking around without jobs right now because those kids are missing. Is anybody concerned about it? Thoughts?
I agree totally, because at this point we established that there was what, 7K at one point.
Yes.
So we have not had anyone to come back around to establish that that number reduced at some point, or maybe we missed it. But I mean, if we don't know who those students initially were, because for the most part, all of mine either showed up or they converted from, meaning the e-learning kids, they either show.
Mm-hmm. You muted yourself.
I'm aware, I'm talking to these.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So that we cannot just think that the kids that were scheduled to be in e-learning, if at some point they fell off the schedules, that we would even know who they were or who we should be looking for. So I don't know what the process or system that was put in place for different schools, but it didn't happen here. And I didn't see it what happened at my site.
Right. So and that's what I'm concerned about, because we are going back now. What's going to happen if and which leads to the next train of thought. Now people are saying, okay, let's get the kids back to school. What if those same kids who have been missing all this time, now all of a sudden they decide to show up, and now now we're overcrowded? What are we going to do?
Well, we know that happens every quarter, every second quarter anyway. There's going to be kids, like I had 2 kids, one last week and one the week prior. When I asked, where have you been in school at? They said they haven't been in school. Have you been doing e-learning? No. So once again, those same nice brand new police cars that they drive around in for whatever, why they don't go knock and tap on some doors? Guidance counselors, I don't know if you do, but I know at our site there's no tapping on the doors happening, because the one that we have on campus, she's always there. So social work, I don't know if she's doing it, because I see her the majority of the time on campus there. So maybe at other school sites something different is happening, but I do know those good old brand new chargers that we pay good tax dollars on, use them to go tap on some doors.
Right. And the thing is too, if the kids come back, and of course, like remember I mentioned before, we're overtaxed already. If the kids are coming back, where are we going to put them? What are we going to do? How is schedules is going to affect schedules, and how is it going to affect the actual units that we have left in school? But the key component is, if you do locate all these children that were missing, can we get the units back?
Right. Well, we can't get the units back, because even when they go to charter schools, and once they just say no, we're not going to longer tolerate you being here at this particular site and send you back, then we don't get those dollars either.
The money follows the children. The money follows the children, and so it's like a gutting of public school education. That's really what it is. It's just that we're being gutted out completely, and it's not cute.
I agree.
It's not cute at all. Not cute at all. And but we're supposed to be working with we're supposed to do more with completely less, and then of course learning new programs, things like that. But here's what I will say to parents too: just know that make the wisest choices. Make choices that are beneficial for your child, and you have to understand you want to do your research on some of the charter schools too, because the standards are not always exactly the same. The same standard that allows you, that the district is following, might not be the standard that's at a charter school. And then when that child will cross the stage, is the child going to cross the stage with an actual diploma? Because have they met all the qualifications and everything they need to say I've graduated from Hillsborough County? So just keep all those in mind when we're selecting a school for your child. And you should always know that I would go with a public school option, because you know that they're going to a path that'll get them what they need to have for graduation.
And it would be interesting to know the data, the number of charter schools that send a population of students back to their home schools after for behavior or whatever it may be, when they initially identify their school as ESE, and with the focus for their students, for ESE students and students that have behavior issues. And then they find themselves that their child is being sent back to their neighborhood school after they were not able to meet that child's needs, when they indicate that they specialize in those areas. So it would be good to see that data, or know that data, because I'm sure the numbers would be alarming and probably more so with the distribution of Black children being sent back in higher numbers than their counterparts.
You're correct, because I did meet two kids over the course of time that actually told me that they were going to a charter school, and they got put out the charter school and ended up being back in public school. And I was like, well, what happened? I mean, wasn't that the choice that you made? Well, yeah, I just couldn't do what the work over there, or they say I was acting up. I was like, oh, okay. So just always be aware of what's going on with your child, and make sure certain schools are good fit. I mean, it's good to say, because there's some people that will put a child in a school and say, okay, all right, this school has smaller class sizes, it's more prestigious, it's more this, more that. But also too, what are you doing with your child's psyche? Because some kids end up being the only Black child in an all-white school. Some kids are in a school where they, of course, then they're going to be singled out because they stand out. Some kids are going to schools where, okay, it kind of clashes with their religious beliefs. I mean, all kind of things could be happening at these particular schools. So just be very conscientious. A lot of parents want what they think is best, but always have that open conversation with your child to say, listen, do you feel comfortable here? Is this what you really want? I'm trying to give this to you because I got a voucher for it, but are you going to be happy here? Those are the type of questions you need to be able to have, discussions you should have with your children. Okay. Definitely.
I totally agree. And that segues very greatly into having your power or your voice to choose for whomever you want to vote for.
Yes.
We know right now, this past weekend, there was a lot of attention brought to the souls to the polls, stroll to the polls, just get your to the polls to vote.
Correct.
You fill in the blank, because at this point it is detrimental that the Black community do more than just a bunch of lip service and go to the polls and demonstrate your right to vote. If you have been a legal upstanding citizen, and you have
Yes.
that opportunity to vote. And yes, we do understand that individuals that go and serve their time, that I do feel that they should be able to acquire their right to be able to vote. But I don't know what has happened with that over time. I know it's been back and forth. They've been flip-flopping with that they got to pay fees, they don't got to pay fees, and so on and so forth. But I do know that it's very important to get out and vote, because we have the countdown is on now, 9 days.
You got 9 days
9
left.
days.
9 days. And to me, I always felt that once you have repaid your debt to society, and because we all know a lot of prisons are not restorative places, but if you have truly gone, like I have respect for people who went to prison and actually came out with degrees. I went in there, I had a high school diploma, I came out with a master's degree, or I came out learning a trade, or I came out learning something, and then I gave back to my community. I got a job, I'm working, I'm employed, I'm caring for my family. These people need their rights restored. Give them the power. That you've done all this, give them that power to vote. But speaking of that too, there so far, last time I checked, 57 million people have already voted in this country, which is more than the amount that voted in 2016. Okay, what does that tell you? If you don't think it's a crucial time, Black folk, please run yourself to the polls. They have so many souls to the poll. In fact, on November 1st, there's also a souls to the poll event as well. And also let's talk about this. People would not be stifling or doing voter suppression, putting out their fake drop boxes, doing all this stuff if your vote was not important. If your vote was really just worthless, it didn't matter, they would not be doing everything they could to stop you. I do want to say thank God we in Florida and we able to vote so easily, but other states are having a hell of a time trying to vote. And can you believe that in California they were putting up fake drop boxes? What? How much are you trying to steal people's vote to do stuff like that? But I need you to remember this, for all those Black people who say it ain't important, I don't need to vote. I need you to remember the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre. I need you to remember Rosewood right here in Florida. I need you to remember the Washington, D.C. riots after Martin Luther King got assassinated. You got to start remembering things that happened in Kentucky, Illinois, in Detroit. Please, the race riots. I'm going to pray to God that these things don't happen here, but you see that you could do a temperature check on the country and see what's going on in the country. I'm telling you, whatever way, as they say, the pendulum swing, whatever way it swing, we as Black people need to be prepared and mobilized. That's all I can say about that. because this is a crucial election. And then on top of that, they're getting ready to nominate Amy Coney Barrett, whatever, the chick for the Supreme Court, who is now about to decimate everything that the women's rights stood for. And now I'm gonna tell you like this, which goes into Planned Parenthood. Yes, people they're gonna talk about abortion, but you need to understand Planned Parenthood is much more than that. It's much more than that, because that's just one facet of it. You're talking about women who need prenatal help, women who might need help prior to it gives you a wealth of information, and therefore it's not just one thing. But for them to start taking, they're going to start to slowly tear away the rights that women work so hard to get, tear away affirmative action rights, all these things like that. You all need to vote. And truly, when we say vote like your life depended upon it, you need to vote like your life depends upon it. Because this is not a joke. This is, when I tell you this thing, and then here, let me add this part on just for you real quick. Young people, you know how they get into you? They get into you through social media. I have not seen and heard so many young people before talking about, oh, I can't vote for this person. I can't vote. I'm going to vote for. Okay. People, there are fake accounts and fake platforms and stuff that are being created to sway your vote. But I also want you to understand something. You are in this tax bracket down here. Let me tell you the difference between tax brackets, okay? Because don't follow them idiots like 50 Cent and all them, because remember, them dudes making this much money up here, and you still down here. It's like them poor rednecks that always, you talking about all the stuff the Republicans did, but you live in a trailer park. You ain't coming close to that $16-17 million cut. That's just that's just a little extra change I give to my kids. You got to think about what level you're at when you start supporting people. It's like all these people running out there buying all this gear for football teams and baseball teams and stuff like that. And yet, them people don't care about you. They got their millions. They do not care about you. Think about where you're at. When you start thinking of people telling you, vote for this one, that player's saying that because he rich. If I was making a couple million, I'd be like, yeah. But either way, you got to think about it like this. You cannot offer me a package. You've been oppressing me all my life. And now you want to offer me a package, a handout? I got morals. I don't care what you come at me with. I have morals. How dare you say to me, I'm going to slide you a little bit of cash, but you've been treating me, you've been overseeing my whole life the whole time. Or I'm the best thing that happened to Black people. Girl, did you see before I fall out, I've done more for Black people than...
And not only will they put out information to sway your vote, they also will put out information as distractions. Don't get caught up in the distractions.
Correct.
Because when you do that, it does nothing more than individuals from doing the work, or prevent individuals from staying focused on to what the actual facts are. So stay focused on the prize, guys. Don't get distracted so easily. I always think about the movie that I saw. I can't think of the name. I'm awful with movie names, but it was a scene when they were walking across Selma, Alabama. They were walking across the bridge, and it was at one point when the gentleman just stopped and he turned back because he realized that they was getting ready to be entered into danger. But if at any moment he got caught up in all the noise that was behind him and around him, and the individual, and didn't keep his eyes on what was going on in front of him, he would have walked a group of people into just being literally massacred during that time, because the police was going to brutally just beat them. So a lot of times we just have to stay focused on what's in front of us. Don't allow things that's going on in your peripheral or what's behind you to distract you from the work, or whatever it is that you know is factual, that you need to make sure that you follow suit through with whatever your decision is. Because the noise can basically drown. Unfortunately, the noise can drown out the facts, and we don't want that to happen. So make a sound decision based on facts and move forward with whatever your decision is. Don't be swayed by others based upon just a bunch of talk. Base everything that you do on facts. Because one thing for certain, the two things for sure, I am not a thousandaire, being 100,000aire, or a millionaire. So therefore, nothing or the majority of the principles that our current number 45 has in place benefits me at all. It continuously make me stay as an oppressed people with no intentions of me moving outside of the current tax bracket that I am in. So therefore, I have to stay focused on those principles and move forward, and not the distractions of uh, a bunch of idiots that's going on around here in our. And okay, I'm gonna be.
But there you go. You hit the nail on the head. And listen, if you happen to come into your money and feel you coming into your money through illegal means, and I'm gonna work that out however you feel like. Remember, they're gonna come and get you. Because one thing about the federal government, they're not gonna let fraud go past for years and years and years. They're coming to get their money. So yes, number 45 has made it easy for people to commit all acts of fraud, but understand they still coming for their money. Just remember that. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, and you also, yeah, you're only in a tax bracket for 20 minutes until them people show up and to come get their money back. But anyway, so let's oh wait, what else did I have to add about that right there? Oh, just we covered it, voter suppression, things like that. But just be wise, people. Young people also take advantage of your opportunities. If you've never been in trouble or anything like that, and you 18, I mean, granted that you missed your window to register, but you got to start voting in these local elections too. Start doing what you need to do. Have your voice heard. Your voice has power. And remember, your young people, especially, your voice has power, because of this. They said this year so many more young people have registered and have gone to vote. So that's really important. We're just proud of y'all young people. Go ahead, young folk, do what you got to do. Okay. So SEC this week. Well, not even this week. This month. The Sunshine Education Coalition has been on the move this month. I mean, we pretty much hit all bases in terms of the events that we told you we were going to be going through this week.
Correct that. We didn't pretty much correct that.
We did.
We 100%. 100%. And if you add the event that we was asked to participate in today, that's 110%.
10%. You're right. Listen, we meant it. We said it, and we gave it 100%, 110%, because you know what, the awareness, we have to bring awareness to the community. We're in phase 1 right now. Phase 1 is information to the public. I cannot tell you how many times people have been told us, I didn't know this was going on. I'm so shocked by this. I did not know. And guess what? That means we were successful in our task, which is to inform people. And when you know, now your job is to do the same thing. Tell somebody and tell somebody and tell somebody. Our youth are in trouble, and they've been in trouble. They've been in trouble for years and years and years. And we have been working diligently along with a partnership of great women and a 1 or 2 men, right? And we still need the men to jump on board. And we have just been pushing forward, because it's important to know that our children are being funneled in, some unwillingly. A lot of times they're being pushed into it, and they're being dragged down into the prisoner pipeline. Why? Because, well, guess what? Some of us are, I could tell right now your scores are low. I don't want you to be in my school. You're going to bring my overall school down, time to push you on out and put you into another program. There's so many other things. Discipline that's being put upon our children erroneously, because we don't understand them culturally, the biases of teachers. I mean, just the rough and biases of resource officers, people who are not trained properly. It's just so many things. And we just want you as a community to understand what we want you to. Well, go ahead, April. Go ahead. Tell.
So I would like to say thank you to all of those that was very instrumental in allowing us on their platforms in efforts to bring forth the community awareness about school to prison pipeline, because that was our phase 1 of our launch of the Sunshine Education Coalition. Yes. And again, it was done successfully, because we're not looking at numbers, we're looking at the quality of the individuals that are partaking in our numbers, in efforts to make sure that the information that we are producing to the community is factual, is supported by data, and then solution driven. So I know our first launch, we started out with Donna Davis and Liz Lanier, and they were Surly Feminists. And then we moved forward with Walter Smith III, and he is with the Sunday Forum.
Yes.
And then we were given opportunity to meet with board members, Chamber Schamberger, where she extended information on how it would be most effective to develop policy And then we moved on to
We had
Michelle
a
B.
launch.
Patty.
We had the launch before.
We did our launch of the Sunshine Education Coalition Illuminated School to Prison Pipeline here in the Tampa Bay area. And then we went on to help me out. I'm getting lost.
You want to roll?
Okay. Okay. And then Michelle B. Patty with what's really happening.
That was Saturday.
And today we was asked again to come back on with the Sunday Forum, where we had an opportunity to bring voice to and hear some insight from a candidate, Jessica Vaughn, and current board member, Tamara Schamberger, as it relates to a variation of topics that are in alignment with school to prison pipeline, whether that have been literacy, student performance, curriculum that are not in alignment, that is culturally information is culturally embedded to where students can take an interest into the material. And this upcoming week, we have one more event or meeting that we, let's back up.
No.
At the, yes, we do have a meeting this week. So let's back up though. I need to go back to some of the key points that State Prosecutor Andrew Warren talked about on Saturday. And the one thing that has, been embedded in my brain that now I cannot get rid of it was those 4 elements. He said that the school to prison pipeline is a funnel. And I never thought about this way. We use the school to prison pipeline, but I never thought about the assessment of the funneling things that put the kids in there. So he said that first is community. We knew that. Then there's school. And then it's funneled into law enforcement, then state prosecutor. So by the time it reaches him, he is trying to basically put a Band-Aid, so to speak. And he didn't say that. I'm saying that he's basically trying to put a Band-Aid so that particular wound can try to heal itself. But at that point, it's already literally, in most cases, too late to repair. They're already like at a place where it's either they're going or they're not. And the percentage, unfortunately, is higher for the kids that are going to be funneled on into the adult system versus those that will be able to have that particular, the programs that they have in place disrupt that or interrupt that funneling into the school to prison pipeline. So that is something that definitely has stuck in my mind, and we're going to be revisiting that conversation collectively for those of us that are part of the SEC membership, and the executive board, I should say, because that really blew me away when he said that. And then the 3 Ps, what were they, Denise? Public education, prosecution, and
I forgot the last one.
Public education,
prosecution. Was it? It was parenting, wasn't it? Or I don't want to say that's right, but understand everything works together. Everything works together, and the fact that, and you're right. Just when he said that, it was like, you know what, you're right. That by the
all
time
of us was like,
by the time it gets to him, it's pretty much a done deal. So once again, and I keep on harping on it. Once again, what does this tell you? Parents, community, and it's like this. Parents, I know we got young parents, but we gotta go old school now. We got to go back there. Because you got to go back. You got to not be mad when somebody is correcting your child. That's the part of the problem we have, is that we have kids running up and down the street. And if I say, hey, baby, come here. Can you just pull up your pants a little bit? Hey, what you doing? Where you going? Come out of the street over there. Don't get in trouble. No, why are you talking to my child? But guess what? I have that child's best interest in heart. That's what I have. I care that he gets it, I don't want him to get in trouble. I don't want him to go to the corner store and steal something, and now the people calling the police on him. I don't want that for him. So why can't I say something to him that's going to be positive, that's going to speak positive to him? So understand, that's the community piece right there. Where the village at? Where's the village? Because we together can save our children. But if we keep on following this mentality that they put out there, children could call the police on their parents if the parents whoop. Listen, a little whooping ain't hurt nobody. I ain't gonna lie. I got some when I was younger. I got a couple pops in there every once in a while. And you ain't never lived till you got grabbed by the arm and whipped in a circle. You ain't got spanked in a circle, and you jumping and hopping. And you ain't been through that. Come on. Look, it might send you a little crazy, but they'll bring you right back. Then you understand what it means to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Okay, you got right for a second. I had to correct my niece just the other day. I was like, your grandmother talking to you. You don't answer that lady what? What is wrong with you? No. Come on now, let's get it together. She said, oh, auntie, I forgot. Right. You've been around some folk too long. I'm trying to snap you back. Understand where you come from, okay? But that's what it is. With the community piece right there, if that foundation is built and that foundation is laid properly, those children, it's going to stop a lot of them from going in the wrong direction. A whole lot of them. Because now granddaddy could tell you something. Uncle such and down the road could tell you something. Big daddy down the street could tell you something. Hey, and you're going to be receptive to that. That's all I got right there. Community.
So we're looking forward to, wrapping up our launch for October, and it definitely took a lot of work. So I do want to take a moment to thank all of those that were active in the actual works that we put forward. That'll be Ashley Foxworth, Erlisha Oates, Andrea Williams. Who else we got? You, me, Conchita Canty Jones.
Yes.
And it take more than just to join an organization, knowing that it's in a development phase, and to do the work. And we understand that everybody's schedule and life happens, and we understand that, and we totally get it. But we have to definitely recognize those that stuck it out, dealt with my crazy and Denise being a West Indian. And and we cannot forget our people that are in the background working. Bianca Goolsby, Kimberly Thailand. Because one thing about Jackson, why am I saying that name? Because one thing about it, even though people aren't at the forefront, the work has to be done. Because when it comes to being tech savvy, I'm not it.
Me neither.
So we appreciate you all. We appreciate you all. And we welcome those that are, interested in the works that we're doing, because again, it's going to take more than just women. And it always surprises me to a place to say, for the men that know that this issue happens on a day-to-day basis, if they take a moment and look back during their childhood and look at some of their peers that are currently going through what we're actually expressing happened, that could happen to them as a child. And they're not taking a moment to, donate an hour or two of your time per month. That's all it requires.
Yeah.
If you're not doing that, sir, uncles, dads, gentlemen in the community, pastors, because the majority of y'all are men, you're part of the problem. I just want to point that out. So, yeah, we're all busy. But again, the church is losing a lot of presence when it comes to in the males' lives, where we know that these things are happening. There used to be moments where pastors would come and be instrumental, and knowing the male pastors would come and have conversations when the moms are at a point where they're stuck with trying to help with their male children, with constantly getting in trouble in school. Where y'all at? Y'all fell off.
Right.
Y'all fell off.
And you can't really blame it on COVID, because it's been happening before COVID. So that's
right. This is not a COVID issue.
Right. And so it's sad, because we see the amount of violence. Like right now, kids can be mentored, but it's who mentoring them? That's the question. Because there's plenty of kids could be down in the corner learning how to sling drugs from the older drug dealer on the block, because he don't want to go to jail. I can get some kids who are minors, and the penalty be less on them. So here, carry all this weight for me, okay? But okay, is that the type of mentorship they need? No, they need somebody who's going to teach them about life skills. And you've got these men around, but is it that I know life is hard, life is tough on the Black man, it really is. But you still got to pour in to the next generation. You have to. It is crucial, and the reason which lead to what's happening over here in these streets all over through East Tampa. What's happening in the streets, man?
Well, let's go back even another moment. Erlisha Oates, the VP of Advocacy for Hillsborough County Council, PTA, asked State Prosecutor Andrew Warner a very, very loud question. And she did it in such a subtle voice when she said, where are all the dollars going from the grants from organizations like Safe and Sound? As it relates to being those programs that's supposed to be put in place in the community in order to deter a lot of the crime, and like right now, all the constant gun violence that's going on in the East Tampa area. And he highlighted that it is one of the many programs one of the few programs that exist and that there's a need for more of funding in that area. But it does not goes without question to say what is happening in East Tampa to where the gun violence is just at an all-time high.
It's astronomical.
It's like it's so high to where it's an expectation almost in those areas to say, has it been quiet in your neighborhood? And the answer to that is no. There's not, for weeks now, there hasn't been more than 3 to 4 consecutive days where there hasn't been pow, 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 shoot them out, gun violence, somebody dead in that area. And the question becomes, what is our current law enforcement officers doing in order to put in preventative measures versus being responsive to what's happening? Because when they respond to it versus the preventative measures that need to be in place, then it leads to somebody else getting hurt or killed, and it is at the hand of law enforcement. But it's just amazing to know that it's increasing versus decreasing, and it's in one area.
It's always in one area. And then on Friday afternoon, I believe it was where, I believe it was Friday afternoon. It was just like 6 or 7 police cars just parked in the middle of 40th Street. And it was like, okay, so what's the problem? Ain't nothing happening, but it just parked up there. I was okay. So the intimidation factor does not work in East Tampa. I'm just letting you know right now. Yeah, y'all can intimidate people to a point, but understand, how do you remove the guns from the street? That's the question. Okay, so it was just like, remember, it was like 2 years ago when the kids were out here with the water guns. You could park up a whole bunch of cars and try to intimidate people, but you still have shootings. So where we need more help. Plus, going back to Erlisha's question, you have facilities over here. However, they're not open. So we've got a beautiful facility, a boys and girls club or whatever it is that we build in. But the time that you really need it to be open, why is it not open? Why?
Can't use the buildings.
So what's the point?
The question becomes: is our tax dollars paying for the lights and all that good stuff, and you can't use the buildings? That's a good question.
Right.
The facilities are there, but you can't use them for mentorship programs. You can't use it. You're limited. They lock the gates up. They chain it up. So what do you expect the kids to do?
Right. And then when
they got graveyards to look at over there, and plenty of liquor stores and mom and pop stores that'll sell them a Swisher Swish, a Sweetie Sweet, whatever they call. Is that what they call? Swisher Swish, Sweetie Sweet?
Swisher Sweet.
Okay, I done mixed them up.
Breath up in my back of my neck when they stand in line, like that. But it's that just, like I said, let's use the word behooves me. That behooves me, because on one hand we say that's what it says. People talk a real good game, because on one hand people saying we want what's best for the children, but you clearly showing the children on the other hand that you don't want what's best for them. You really don't. There's some kids whose parents work at night. Well, wouldn't it be great to have a facility open that they can go to that's safe, that's going to provide them a little something to eat? They can have their recreation. Their mom come home at 10 o'clock, pick them up from there. Guess what? Also, it would provide jobs, because somebody would want to work. That's a second job for somebody, or their first job. Let them be over that. I mean, it's like, really, like, you care, but you're not really caring. You say that you care, but do you really? But you got sheriff cars parked up over there, which means you got security, because they're always over there. But do something. Because now here's the thing, and I had to go check it out for myself. Right over there on 50th and Slide, me and at least we rolled over there on last Friday, because I wanted to see this plot of land that had all these food trucks. All these food trucks. The Hispanic representation was strong, beautiful. Food truck. Okay, why we can't do that with our people? How was that possible? That they had a collective of them, and they were from everywhere. They were Puerto Rican, Cuban. What was the one from Santo Domingo? All of them had a food truck. You could get any kind of Spanish type of food. You could get anything from a mofongo all the way to just a regular traditional burger. Okay, you could get anything. You got fruit, desserts, everything. But the collective was so strong, and whole families out there, they having a good time. Why in East Tampa, with the predominant Black neighborhood? Now, where are the Black people with their food trucks and their barbecue stands? How that was possible? Because I would love for somebody to give me the information on how they got the hookup on that large piece of land right there. Meanwhile,
and 2 of those food trucks are there every day of the week. That's just their spot. Yeah, that's like a location for them.
Yeah,
But again, because and I can probably answer that, they have community mindset.
right.
They're not competing with each other. They're not daggering each other's in the back because one may be doing what appears to be a little bit better than the other, not knowing the sacrifice they had to make to get it.
Right.
That might be why.
That could, and guess what? Just like in the grocery store, you walk down a grocery store aisle and you find 20,000 brands of bread. They all selling bread. Okay, but guess what? You going down the aisle, everything cool, just like them. They all selling food, different types of food. You all could come there and eat. Had a wonderful time, no problems. So, which goes to the point, we have got to learn to lift ourselves up. We got to learn how to do it. We got to learn how to do it without competing against each other. If we can have it's like take the mindset that if we have a pop-up shop and we can do a pop-up shop in a heartbeat, why can't we do it? We have a collective and have something that's more permanent, that where everybody making some money. Okay, so I don't know. I just it's amazing. Go around 50th and Sly anytime between Thursday and Saturday night. You'll be amazed. Amazed. That's all I can tell you. Just amazed in our community, in our neighborhood. What you got, bro?
That's it. That's facts. All facts.
I'm just blown away. Now, I ain't gonna lie, but I tell you that dessert weren't hitting though. I ain't gonna lie, that was Nutella. That was
You had a
Nutella.
Nutella, what was it, like a frosty?
It was a Nutella shake, and it was like it had strawberries, it had the little cookie pieces and all that stuff. It was at least 1,000 calories all by itself. I know that for a fact. I mean, I felt it the next day. But I'm telling you, it was delicious. It was worth every penny. And then I had a burger too. I was like, Lord, y'all got it over here. But see, community that they put it together, and it's lovely. Everywhere we went, everybody was smiling, happy, having a good time, and that's what's key and important. So, but the bottom line, we close. I don't know if I don't have anything else to add. I would like to say that just I want to encourage everybody to continue to vote. Do a great job. Yeah, everybody been doing good so far. So let's keep going.
Parents, your child tomorrow in all their classes, they start out with A's. The question becomes, are they going to be able to maintain that A by doing the work? So therefore, there's a fresh start. There's a new 9 weeks in place. If they scored an F that past quarter, remember they have to score a C in order to balance that out. In order to get their their completion point.
Yes.
For that particular semester. So make sure that you are doing your due diligence, creating a schedule, being more intentional this particular 9 weeks, which goes through January the 14th, I believe. So you got to do your part. Yeah, it's really weird this year that it goes that far in.
They come back? Do they take exams after they come back, right? It's before they go in. Okay, all right.
So therefore, it's very important that you do your part. And that's all we got tonight. We're exhausted, we're tired, and we will follow up with our next meeting with the very important person here in our district, a newly position that, put it this way, not a new position, a new name for the position. So we're super eager to speak to her as well. So again, you all have a great week. I am April Cobb with April's Beauty Bar.
I'm the Diva D from Carved Out Divas.
And we're Diversity
and Equity
in Education. And we thank Bianca Goolsby for hosting us for Teacher for the Culture. Y'all have a great week, guys.
Bye. Good night.